Hello and welcome to my channel, Motorheads. Today I'm going to show you how to remove the tire and wheel assembly from the bike, change the tire and the wheel, and how to balance it. This is on my Yamaha Stryker with the Michelin Commander 2, the 240/40 R18. This is how I do it. This is how I taught myself how to do it. May not be the right way, but this is my way. This is how I do it. So just sit back and I hope you enjoy.
Looks like I need a new axle seal. Looks like it's got damaged. So, off the Pro caliper. Well, it's going to take a week to get this seal in. So, we'll see you next week. Thought while I'm waiting for the new seals to come in, talk about the bike. This replaces the original whole tail light, blinker, license plate assembly. This is the brake light and blinker all in one, and the license plate. I'm gonna have to take that off to get that tire back in there, I think. So far, I'm into this project for about $300. Got the tire off Amazon for $248. I had everything I needed tool-wise except for this 27mm. Didn't have one of those. I had to buy the whole kit for $40 to get one wrench. Anyways, I'll use the other wrenches. And axle seals, I think, are about $15. I mounted these saddlebags on here last summer with this cargo rack on here. Anyways, this would be a good time to wash its underbelly, but now I can't move it. Bought a jack stand at Harbor Freight, but it wouldn't fit down there. So this is what I've got: my floor jack and my scissor jack for my truck. So I can't move it. Would be nice to be able to wash underneath here. So just waiting for the seal to come in. Sun's out. I'm gonna go ride, get some seat time. Wish I could wash underneath here. I just put these brake pads on last year. The bike had 6,000 miles on it. When I replaced the first tire, brake pads were worn out. So I'm thinking the previous owner is probably dragging rear brakes. How are you going to wear out a set of brake pads in 6,000 miles? I don't know. But what I'm doing here is I'm taking the caliper off this floating bracket thing here that holds the caliper on. So when I put the back wheel on, I don't have to line up the rotor in between the brake pads. Once I get the tire in position, axle on, then I'll put the caliper on. I think it'll be easier that way. Anyways, that's what I'm hoping.
See that plug in there? Oh fuck, is that you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Had 300 or 400 miles on that when I had to put that plug in there. I was coming home by Foster Lake. Hook up a screw.
Yeah, I guess there's a little toast in the middle there, isn't it?
Yeah. That's it,
When
right?
I saw the pictures that you posted, I'm like, that don't look too bad. Is there a new one? I'm like, oh,
Okay, now a little bit. Okay.
I think the tire was so cold it was sitting in my car all day, and the rubber just wouldn't seal up to the wheel. Anyways, we finally got it. So what we have here, brand new tire, comes with, looks like 7/30 seconds. Old tire is down to 1.5 30 seconds. I don't know if you can see that. But what I noticed on the old tire, the left side has more wear than the right side here. So my thoughts is I'm more comfortable doing left-hand turns than right-hand turns. This tire has about 8,000 miles on it. It's down to 1/30 seconds left. When I first put it on last year, I had about 300 miles on it. And I had to put a hot plug in there. Nobody will take the liability to patch a motorcycle tire, so I had to do it myself. I'm stranded 100 miles away from home, big fat screw in my tire. I had no choice but to put this hot plug in there. But it held up for, I don't know, 7,000, 7,500 miles. I don't know if you could see that right there, where the plug is. Right there. It held up. I thought for sure I ruined the tire. Anyways, what I'm about to attempt to do right now is balance the tire. It's been sitting in my dining room area for a few hours now, trying to warm up so it'll spin nice and smooth. And it seems to want to stop in the same spot all the time. So what I have here is just sitting on 2 axle stands, spinning on the axle, waiting for the heavy side to stop at the bottom. And it seems to want to stop right there every time. So I think all I need to do is just take that weight off, and we should be okay. This isn't the perfect way to balance the tire. This thing is so fat and so heavy. If I could take the rotor and the belt drive pulley off, I could probably get a better balance out of the job. But I'm not going to do all that. I think we'll be fine. If I just take that one weight off right there, we should be good to go. So I don't really have the proper tools to get down there and take that off, so I'm going to make do with what I have. I have an ice pick and a hammer, and hopefully I can get it out of there. Yeah, pretty simple, got it. So let's give her a spin and see how she lands. So all we're trying to do is find out where the heavy spot is. The heavy spot will always want to stop at the bottom here. This is where the heavy spot was. And it looks like she's still got the internal. Looks like it's still got a heavy spot right down there at the bottom. Still have these sticky weights I got from work. Wish I had something to clip right here, or right in the center of the frame. So I'm going to start with putting a 1/4 ounce right here on the opposite side. Maybe I'll start with a 1/2 ounce. I'm going to put her right in there. Now let's see how she spins. Now the ideal balance would be where the heavy spot was right here. If it stops right about 6 o'clock. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh. I mean, stop right at 3 o'clock right here. This spot was stopping right here at the bottom, the heavy spot. Counterbalance it with the 1/4 ounce weight right here, and hopefully it'll stop right there at 3 o'clock every time. Let's see how she does. Either 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock. Stop. Yeah, it's pretty close, maybe. See if it backtracks a little bit. Give it another spin, see how she does. But I think I'll be happy with what I've got here. That's pretty close. I ended up replacing the rubber valve stem with this angled stem. Make life so much easier replacing, putting more air in there, topping off the tire. Alright, it's Christmas. Got my package in today. Got my new seals. I'm so excited, I want to get out and ride. So, what I'm going to do now, pop this old seal out. I think I probably tore that seal trying to put the axle back in last year. So what I do is just using this old tire spoon I used to use on the dirt bikes years ago. It fits right in there nice. Just pop it out. This new one should pop right in. what I do is just take a nice socket, tap it in place. But I think my socket's too small. Need a bigger socket. Alright, that should do it. I hope. Yeah. Alright, that sounds solid. Alright, I'm just waiting for my buddy to show up to help me put this monster in place. Last time I did it, like I said, I think I tore that dust seal. Now everything I'm doing here, it's basically all self-taught. Nobody taught me to do any of this. Just learned on my own. My first motorcycle at 14, when the back tire wore out, I drove it down to the moto shop, bought a tire, took it in the parking lot, laid the bike on its side, took the wheel off, took the tire off, changed it in the parking lot on my own. Had no idea what I was doing, but I figured out how to do it. It worked. So right now I know I need a helping hand to hold everything in place to drive that axle through where it needs to sit. So just waiting for my buddy Gail to show up. Should be here any minute. Alright, we got the new tire on. Gail didn't want to be on camera. I don't blame him. I don't want to either. But putting it back on is just reverse of taking it off. So she's going to go on her first test drive. And looks like I've got everything lined up. Looks good.